Hey y'all, it's Emily, and today I am gonna do a comparison video between the Grownsy bottle washer and the Momcozy bottle washer. If you're choosing between the Grownsy and the Momcozy bottle washer, watch this before you buy. Okay guys, so you can see here that they look exactly the same. The water tanks are the same on the back. They both hold 2.5 liters. I have found that to be very efficient and easy to use. Now, I have been using the Momcozy for a little while now. My daughter is 7 weeks old, which is absolutely crazy to me. For the first little bit, we actually didn't use it. We did a lot of hand washing, and we realized how long it takes to actually dry things. We didn't truly understand this machine until honestly fairly recently. So I'm going to show you a couple different things. This has been an absolute game changer in my household. I could never go back to doing it that way again. I will always have a machine like this. So looking at these two, they look pretty much exactly the same. The difference is the shape of this. On the Momcozy, you can see that there's a quick guide start on the very front of the machine, and it just kind of tells you the different modes that you can click through, whereas the Grownsy does have a more in-depth detailed quick user guide on the side. It kind of tells you the different times. And now I haven't even used this one yet. I have not touched this one. I just filled it up with water. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going on the inside. You can see that this guy here doesn't have any of the attachments on the inside. Over time using it, have realized that you can actually fit a lot more in there for me personally if you take these little attachments out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so now I've gotten all the parts and pieces out. I understand the point of having them kind of holding bottles in different directions and whatnot. I've just determined over the weeks of use that I've done so far, it's just far easier without them. One thing I have noticed, the difference between these two, the modes are exactly the same. From what I've noticed, timing wise, they are exactly the same. However, I want to show you why I already, without even using this one, kind of prefer the Grownsy over the Momcozy, just display reasons. So not only does this not have color, y'all notice that I don't do a whole lot of color in my house, so that already matches a little bit better, but the Momcozy is such minimal color that it really doesn't matter to me. Now turning these on, just long press on the power button on both of them. This one immediately goes to some sort of mode, whereas this one doesn't. But the rapid on this one is going to be the same as the fast on here. Now, if you just want to do that, that's going to be 19 minutes of a cleaning. If you want to add sterilization on this one, it actually tells you that it adds 10 minutes. You can see on there. Whereas this one is the sterilization is called steam on this one, but it doesn't add the time to the overall time on the screen. If I want to do a drying and storage, it also adds extra time there, showing you that it's going to add 60 extra minutes to this one. So 89 minutes total. And then this one here is the exact same time frame. I know because I've used that mode before, but it doesn't add it to the overall time on the front. So if you're automatically assuming like, oh, all of this is gonna take 19 minutes, it's not. Don't let it confuse you. It's gonna be the same as this. Now with the storage, actually, it is a 72-hour hold on both of these machines here. So it is just showing that the drying time is adding that, but it is a 72-hour hold for storage. I want to go ahead and load these up. I have plenty. I'll show you here. We have in our sink, we have a bin here that holds everything that I use. Pump parts, bottles, all that stuff. So I'm going to start loading these up. So now I'm going to add the racks on the top. Okay, now that they are fully loaded, this is the tablet for the Momcozy, and this is the tablet for the Grownsy. So it is quite a bit bigger, and maybe it will still fit in one of these things, but I like to make sure that I hear the tablet hit the bottom of the machine and not stuck on a piece of bottle or pump part. So heard it drop to the bottom. So now we're gonna put the lids on top. Okay, from here, I'm actually going to do the standard wash on these. So that's gonna make it a total of 99 minutes. But with that storage, it would be 72 hours. And then I'm gonna do the normal here, which is 99 minutes, but with the storage, it would be 72 hours on top of that. So the water tanks are full. I know that they suggest that you use distilled water. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I think that would be very expensive to buy gallons of distilled water every single time. I just have them close to my sink and I run my hose and I fill it up. I do have descaling tablets for this. I have not bought them for this one yet because I just got this one in like yesterday. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these started. All right, so it does show you here that it's on the washing mode. So you got lack water, drying and storage, sterilization and washing. And then on this one, you have no water, drying, steam, and fresh air. So essentially the exact same things, but you know, different wording. Sounds to me, if you're listening, I'm starting this one first because I'm comparing how loud this one and you know, how loud they are. To me, it sounds very similar. So right now it's pulling water out of the water tank. It's draining it to go in here so it can start doing its thing. It does have a hose. You can see there's two hoses here because they both have the hoses. And they do drain into the sink. That's why I have it so close over here. Okay, so to me, it sounds very similar to the Momcozy. It's not super loud. We're right next to my living room, as you can see. This can run, well, this one, because I've had this one for a while, but this can run and not bug me at all as far as sound goes. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one started too. I'm actually noticing that this one might be a touch louder. It just sounds a touch louder to me than this one did. I don't know if y'all are able to hear that over this one going right now, but yeah. So one thing, I like how this one has the total time. This will change time once this mode runs out. So this is on normal right now. This is doing a normal wash, which is a total of 29 minutes. Once that mode is done and it's now moving on to the drying stage and then the steam stage and all that, it's gonna do a steam, which is gonna be 10 minutes. Same thing on here. So this mode will end. It'll switch over to steam. It'll just go to 0 and then 10. That runs out and then it'll go to the storage, which will have a 72-hour hold and it'll say 72 on the machine. So I do like how this has it all together besides that storage. So yeah, I'm gonna let these run and we're gonna see how they do. Okay guys, so they are both done with the washing cycle. They're on the 72-hour hold. So they've done the drying and everything, which you can see it's pretty dry in both of these lids right here for everything that it's done. There is a couple of drips down here in the lid. Now the 72-hour cycle can hold them for 72 hours. And there are times that I let a couple hours pass in this, especially at nighttime, if I'm going from 1 a.m. to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, before I need to do another cycle. But so let's compare some of these parts and pieces. I'm noticing immediately that the Dr. Brown's, this is in the Grownsy, by the way. The Dr. Brown nipple is very dry. There's a drip or two here and there. Not bad, but looks very clean. There's not any cloudiness or anything like that. So I like the way it cleaned that. I'm very happy with that. Now some of these parts, there's really not going to be water in them because they're the way that they sit in there. There's not really a spot for them to pull up. But if you look at pieces like this that have the divots, that's where you're going to find most of the water that sits. I'm sure after 72 hours, it wouldn't have anything on them because it is circulating fresh air the entire time. But I don't know if you noticed that the Grownsy has 72 hours on the screen the entire time, whereas the Momcozy was a black screen. It just had that little fan going. But they both are circulating kind of warm, fresh air out of it. When it comes to like these right here, this is the diaphragm for the Eufy S1 Pros. There's this little lip, so there is going to be water that comes out of there. That's why I do it like this, not this, because there's a lot more that could collect in there, which there is a little bit in there, but I mean, that's what I've come to expect from these machines. That's gonna happen. So with these, this is the diaphragm for the Momcozy S5. This is kind of an unfair thing here because if I had put it in like this, look at what it could hold there versus this side. There's just lots of divots in this. So these have always just been wet and very hard to dry. So here's the thing. I don't need anything to sit in here for 72 hours because I'm constantly needing these back, especially the fact that I'm really only ever using one at a time. I don't have two sitting on my counter at all times. So I'm not going to let any of these pieces sit in there for 72 hours. I will show you how I dry things in just a moment. Okay guys, so in conclusion, I am actually going to switch the Momcozy one out for the Grownsy on my counter. and do something with the Momcozy one. I still think the Momcozy one is fantastic. I just think this one has a couple extra things to it that I prefer. I think overall they both perform very similarly. The way they dry is very similar in my opinion. I do like the interface better on this one, and honestly I really like the fact that this one doesn't have a color to it. It doesn't, I mean, I know the Momcozy one doesn't have a lot of color, but it's still a color, and I kind of prefer not having that on display in my kitchen because that kind of sets a theme for me, and I don't love that. But it's not terrible. I do think this one, you got a better price point, better coloring, better display, and I do like how the quick user guide is on the side, and you can easily look at that anytime you want to. Whereas if I wanted to switch something up with the Momcozy, I would kind of, I mean, there's a quick guide on there, but you really get in depth to it, you want to scan that QR code and kind of understand the product a little bit more. So yeah, I'm going to be switching to this guy. I think it's great. This is my system of how I get things done. I'm about to get another load started in this one. I've just got to do a pump real quick, and then I'll get all those parts and pieces in there. There's a few bottles I need to put in there. But yeah, fantastic product. There's no smells to it. There's no extra residue from the pods that you use in there. I was a little worried because the pods are quite a bit bigger than the Momcozy ones, but they perform the exact same way. There's no residue left on the bottles or any smells or anything like that. So I think this is a great product, and I would recommend it to any busy mother because holy crap, this thing has been a lifesaver. Like I said before, we didn't really do a whole lot of the Momcozy in the beginning. We did a lot of hand washing and didn't realize how important or how beneficial it would be to use this product. Yeah, I would highly, highly recommend having some sort of bottle washer, but I would absolutely recommend the Grownsy one because it's been fantastic. So, yeah. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this helped you solidify an answer if you're on the hunt for one of these, and I will talk with you all very soon. Bye.